All right, everybody, welcome to the high noon edition of Pugs and Company for this, the 22nd day of December, year of our Lord 2021. It is the 365th day of the year. 9 days remain until the end of the year and 3 until Christmas. 3 until Christmas. Are you ready for Christmas? I mean, I guess I am. I got the biggest tap out Christmas ever. My kid is at the age where Christmas is no longer fun and magical. And here, we'll bring in E. It's E. He joins us for the High Noon Show. I was just wishing everybody a very Merry Christmas and saying that there's only 3 days left and that I have gotten to the point in Christmas. Okay, so let's be honest about Christmas, okay? 1 through about 18, right? That's when Christmas really means something to you. 1 through 18, you get the best gifts, you get the best stuff. You got parents for the first half of that amount of years, you're getting Santa on top of, all of that stuff. Can you hear?
Yeah.
Okay. So 1 through 18, that's like when you're a kid, when you're a youngster, that's when Christmas really means something. And then you start getting involved with, women. So now Christmas at age 20 is like, oh man, what am I going to get my girlfriend? I got to spend everything on her. You know what I mean? It just becomes, this is the opening flavors of what a beatdown Christmas becomes when you compare it to what it is for a 12-year-old or a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old or a 15-year-old even, to what it is at the age of 20, just 5 short years later. That's when it all starts to go. Then now because you're working part-time at the Home Depot, now you got to buy presents. Like no more of this bullshit where mom just buys your presents for grandma. You got to go out and get grandma something. So you got the girlfriend. Fuck your friends. Your friends ain't getting nothing. Your friends, no. But yeah, okay, so now you got what? You got to get grandma a present. Got to get grandpa something. That's easy. He don't care. He don't give a shit. You got to get you got to get your girlfriend something good. Like that's the lion's share. And then you got to get your girlfriend's mom something. And God forbid she's got a little sister. A little sister under the age of 10 has to get something.
Yeah. Like the older you get, it seems like the Christmas bag that you carry just gets bigger and bigger. Like it's no wonder that like Santa's some old gray-haired fat guy carrying carrying this big old bag of like presents around for everybody, because you're right. Like it's like, and then
it's about 20. So then it's your first Christmas with a girlfriend is when it all goes to shit.
Well, but then it proceeds to, then it's your first Christmas with your wife. Then they have,
it just gets increasingly worse.
Yeah. It just keeps on snowballing and snowballing and snowballing. Like today, like, as soon as we're done with this, like I'm off to the mall again. I was off at the mall yesterday. I've got another off to the mall on Thursday,
no.
And then Friday we got like church service, and then got to go pick up the food, and then
it's a beatdown. It's
just like whoa.
And all you want to do when everybody comes over is just sit in your chair and watch football. You've done all of this leading up to it, right? So okay,
I think you figured that out last night when we were at like dinner. Like I was just staring at the screen and I was like really quiet because I had been at the mall for like 4 hours before.
Your time.
It's like staring at football is like sitting in the hot tub.
It's your bubble bath. It's just sitting in a bar with a drink in your hand, quietly staring at football is the male bubble bath. That's what you needed.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was.
So this whole thing was that my kid, so we talked about how it sucks. It's great until you get your first girlfriend, and then it starts to suck, and it gets progressively worse. However, there is a respite there when you have your first child, and he's 1 through whenever he stops believing in the magic of Christmas or whatever happens, but Christmas gets reinvented for you. Like now, because now it's all about the little kid and you're the parent and you need to create this fictional fantasy world for them. And you sort of get into it and that's fun. And then they turn 12 where my entire Christmas shopping list is Nintendo cards. What do you want from grandma? $50 Nintendo card. What do you want from Grandpaddie? $50 Nintendo card. What do you want from me? Visa card. Like, what? That's it, dude. I can do all of my shopping for my kid
Mace would
now.
not be happy with Wendy, like, because Wendy refuses to get like a card. Like, she's like, giving somebody a card is like the most bailout type of Christmas gift that you can give them. Like, they're not going to remember it. It's going to go into their checking account and it's going to go out for bills. Well, like, okay, if they got a lot of bills, they might appreciate that.
Yeah, look at
You know,
what
like,
they're learning.
like that like they might appreciate that. Like people use things for money. Like, getting them a gift when they can't pay their bills is probably sucky to them, because
Yes,
they
it
were
is.
like
Ultimately, it is. I can tell you, as somebody who has for the last few years converted all potential gifts into cash, yes, I can tell you what we need more. I don't
right.
need a sweater.
I know, that's what, like, okay, so they're gonna feel good in their sweater or their piece of clothing or their item that you got them, but they can't leave the house.
Right. Yeah, they don't have a house. They're out on the street. They didn't make rent. But look at that sweater. It's going to be real nice in the homeless camp.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
so my kid is just at the point where, he's just going through the motions with Christmas. It's still magical but it's not magical. It's just strictly commercial for him at this point. Like, it's just about gathering stuff at this point, and that's going to continue until he gets his first girlfriend and he has to buy her an expensive ring. And then it's a downhole. Then
It just keeps going.
Then it just keeps going down.
No, but I don't know. I look at it now and I'm like, wow, okay, I'm fortunate to be able to be in a situation where I can do that. And so I'm just happy. It's a
Well,
happy
you
time of
still got
year.
it. You still got it. You're
Yeah.
still in that magic Christmas window where you get to reinvent Christmas, just instead of as the kid, but now as the dad of a little kid.
Yeah.
That's
So it's
great,
like,
and it's
it's
going
fun.
away is my point.
Yeah,
This
I
might be
know.
your last one.
No, it's fun. It's definitely a good time. So
Man, when Mace was a believer, if you will, we used to. We didn't celebrate Christmas until the 27th because he would be at his mom's on the 25th, and then on the morning of the 26th, he would fly to me in Chicago, and I'd have him for the next 10 days. And we would do Christmas like 2 days. So what we got to do was, the day after Christmas, it's still Christmas in like big cities and downtown and stuff
oh,
like
for
that.
sure. Like, people are headed back to the mall
Oh
to
yeah.
get something that they wanted with
Right.
that thing that you got them that they're like, what
And
am I gonna do with
they're
that?
keeping the retail push and the branding push for New Year's. We're still in celebration month here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we always got like the day after Christmas, and we did everything. I mean, we did everything. We go to the Lincoln Park Zoo and see the Christmas light, all that stuff, and it was magical. And now he's 12 and he just wants to play video games. And can I have another Nintendo card? The magic has been just stomped
Gone.
out of it. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'd like to wish Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody in the chat room, everybody that's listening.
Yeah.
I haven't been on as regular, obviously, as I had in a while, but it's nice to see everybody in the chat room.
Christmas.
All saying hello to everybody every day. It's cool.
He's
Albert, I saw your comment about you just got a dog at 52 and you're wondering if it's your last. I just got one at 58, and this one that I got, she's like a terror. I think it may be my last, only because I don't know if I can deal with another one like this.
She's going to kill you. She's going to put you in an early grave.
Right. Yeah, no, I think as you get older, like, your dog choices need to resemble like kind of what your life is like. Yeah. And I had no thought of any of that going into this dog. Like, we got her right after Frankie passed, and we had a Great Dane. And Frankie's like, if you've had a Great Dane, they're kind of big couch potatoes.
Big,
like,
giant, lovable lump.
And they don't really do much in the house.
Though. Massive, like a small pony.
Right. And then we got lured into this one because, she was on like the neighborhood watch post, like somebody had found her, and they said, oh, we think she's, part Great Dane. And she kind of looked a little bit like Frankie in the face. Like, I get her home, and like she couldn't be further from the personality of Frankie.
No.
but yeah.
She's you know, if you talk about what a dog is perfect for, like, okay, if we had to place CeeLo, the current dog here, place her in the perfect environment for her, it would be a 22-year-old meth dealer's apartment. That's where I think CeeLo would thrive.
That, or I think like out in Wyoming, like on like a 300-acre ranch where she could just run the perimeter like for about most of the day.
That'd be good. And
And
she'd
then
attack
she'd
cows
come
and
in.
stuff. She'd bite cows' legs.
Oh, she would just like whatever was inside of your ranch eventually would be herded to your house.
I should be good at that. But again, remember, she's also the dog that has to get dragged off into the bathroom when someone comes over to buy. She's that dog too. You just got to figure out which she's best for. All right, today is the 22nd of December. You know, yesterday we lost a major day. It was a major day for wishes. You know what yesterday was? It was one of those numerical, what do they call them? Where it's like,
it was the solstice, right? Like the winter solstice.
Yeah, but it was the
1 2 2 1 1 2 or 1 2 2 1 2 1.
It was the 22nd. It was the 22nd day of the it was the 21st day of the 21st year of the 21st century. Woo, make a wish. Did you miss it? Yeah, that's one of those, like, I don't forget what they call them, but numeric number, like 1111, you're supposed to wish, 777, you're supposed to wish, whatever. But that's like one of them. Anything that is the day, the year, and the millennium is supposed to be. Ooh, that's a big one. You got to wish on that one.
Well, like numerically, like the ones and the twos, but then it was like this odd, like, you know, I don't know, a zero in there.
Yeah, well, that one, yesterday, because everybody, there was a lot on Twitter going, oh, it's the 21st day of the 21st year, month. No, wait.
Yeah,
wait, no.
12th month.
21st day, 21st year, 21st century.
Yeah, and the 12th month, which is a reverse of the 2 and the 1.
I missed it. We'll never live. Wait, could we live to see a 1, 2? No, we can't. 1, 2, 3, 4 doesn't work. I was going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever.
There's no 3, 4.
All right, let's get into what today is. Today is oh, no, you know what? Another little bit of thing off the top here. We'll call, I guess this would be our moment of joy, but let's call it this is more of a moment of Now, we're all going to be going to people's houses. We're all going to be visiting. If you haven't started already, it's probably, look, I mean, I don't know how you're treating the virus and all that, but let's just say it's a normal Christmas. We're going to people's houses, trying things for the first times. How many times have you been to like somebody's dinner party or something? They had something, you're like, oh my God, I've never had that before. That is freaking good. Oh, it's just our recipe, that whole thing. So we have these experiences fairly commonly. Maybe you'll be having these in the next few days. I want to show you something that a lady made. And I want, hold on, can I get to it? Oh no, I don't know if I can get to it. Yeah, I can. Okay. I want you to see her make it, and then I want to know if you would eat it. Okay, E?
All right.
This is, I suppose we'll call it a recipe. I just, where do I find it? Nope. There we go. Sorry. Hold on. Why can't I share? I'm having the old difficulty with the sharing, and I got a bad glare. Okay, there we go. Sorry, figured it out. All right, folks. So I want you to tell me if you would eat this. Here we go. Is it Sharon?
Yeah. First of all, it looks like she's already decorating as she it's turning into a heart.
Here's my question. I don't know if this is legit or if this is a troll. I don't know if this is legit and she's a crazy person or if this is a troll and she's brilliant. Okay, so that's what I want you to look for, okay?
All right.
Is this for real and she's batshit crazy, or is this a troll and she's just pretty clever? Here you go.
All right, let's make my go-to dip to take to gatherings.
First, get yourself a cute little partner. Yeah.
Then smear a softened block of cream cheese on the bottom of a tray.
Okay, cream cheese, everybody.
Then you're gonna add a layer of Miracle Whip.
Okay, already I'm out.
Then a sprinkle of sugar.
Okay.
Then a bottle of cocktail sauce.
Okay, cocktail sauce. Okay, with Miracle Whip.
Then some mozzarella cheese.
Oh, this looks like trash.
Then some garlic salt.
Garlic salt goes on everything.
And then you're going to add mini shrimp on top.
Shrimp. Canned mini shrimp.
And you're done. Serve it with your favorite crackers.
E1, would you eat that?
The only ingredient that seems like it's out of the norm is the cream cheese.
No, for a dip, the cream cheese, it was normal. It got progressively more nuts after the Miracle Whip and the cream cheese.
But I see like Miracle Whip. Miracle Whip would be like in cocktail sauce.
It would?
Yeah, if you're doing like a remoulade, it goes from that red to that kind of orangey color.
Yeah.
Because there's like Russian dressing, kind of same thing, right? You got some form of mayonnaise in there.
I suppose.
And you're starting out with the cocktail sauce.
All right. So we're gonna throw some out. Now you get cocktail sauce and you got some what'd she say? Feta cheese?
Yeah, some cheese. It looked like she was throwing some cheese on there. So like I see, like if you're Italian and you get shrimp, you generally get shrimp with some kind of cheese on it. So I don't know. The only one like the cream cheese is just kind of maybe, I don't know. Like maybe like that's the base, like the concrete when you're sticking your chip in, it's going to break if you get too much of it. So maybe just a little tad.
So the gross, juicy, oily canned shrimp sprinkled on top, that didn't get you to check out?
Well, I mean, I don't know that I would go with the canned, like, yeah, I'd probably get the real deal. I don't know that I'd get the canned version of them.
Well, of course.
Well, I'm
so
just saying.
You keep shrimp on there because, okay.
Yeah, all right. Cocktail sauce is made with ketchup,
You've gone with option 3. She is legit, and she's not crazy at all. That's something that could possibly be good.
Well, okay, I'm just thinking if I were going to make cocktail sauce and I was in a pinch.
Sir, I demand that you answer the question.
I'm trying to theorize in my mind, like all of her ingredients. And the only thing that's missing, like if I was going to make my own cocktail sauce, I'd probably have ketchup, maybe some relish, horseradish.
Look at you go with the off the top of the head cocktail sauce recipe.
And, if I wanted to take it in a little bit different direction, I might throw a little bit of mayonnaise in there.
Okay.
And then some hot sauce, like some Tabasco or something.
And you present it with confidence and everybody thinks it's real. You could feed hungry people anything if you feed it to them with confidence. All right. Yeah. So okay. All right. I don't know. The idea of the Miracle Whip, first of all, just loses me. The Miracle Whip and then the cocktail and then the shrimp on top. Nope. I just don't think I could do that. Here's how I could do it. If someone just said, "Oh, try this dip," and then gave me a chip with it, and I'll put it in, please. That's a way to get me to eat anything. If I don't know what's going into it, like if I don't see the process of it being made, and someone just says, "Oh, taste this, it's good." I mean, I'll eat anything. I'm like a billy goat that way.
Yeah, she did kind of throw me for a loop there at the end when I saw the can. Like I thought she was going to throw tuna in there, and I was like, "Oh, no."
Tuna was going to lose you with the tuna.
Like tuna was going to lose me. Okay. But then when I saw that they were I didn't pay a lot. I was just like, okay, if it is a seafood and it's not tuna, like then shrimp was okay. But I probably would have I would have changed that from being canned shrimp. You can't really change canned tuna.
We'll move on. I love canned tuna. I think canned tuna is awesome.
Do you get it in the can? So you're still getting the can and not the packets?
No, I don't like the packets. I like the can of Star-Kissed albacore in water. Has to be the high-end tuna in the can. It's got to be the big white flaky breast chunks. That's what I like. I don't like, you can get like the bumblebee and the oil that's like not albacore and it looks like gray cat food. Blah, screw that.
What's wrong with the packets in water? Like, are you just stuck to the can?
No, they seem too dry. I've tried the packets. I just prefer the cans.
See, I like the can because you can do the press.
Yes,
Like
exactly. With the paper
you
towel.
can press it and you can take out as much water as you want.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even use the paper towel. I just use the metal. Like I cut the can part out. Like you get the can opener and you like the metal part. And I just take the metal part and I squeeze it against the tuna and then just like tip it up and let the water drain out.
All right. See, now
You do a paper towel?
I had no idea that we were going to discuss our tuna draining techniques here on today's show, but since we're talking about it, I will open the can, I will depress the lid so that it presses against the meat in the can, and then with one hand, I will squeeze it over the sink and get all of that juice out of there, right?
Yeah,
so
that's me.
so
We're
then
together.
then I take the can lid off, throw it in the trash, and now I just got relatively dry tuna inside a can, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I take a paper towel, I put it on you fold it up, make a nice little pillow of paper towels, and I plop the can, empty it all out.
Oh, dude.
Take another paper towel, put it over the top,
paper fibers in your tuna.
Press it down. So be it. That's how I live. Pull the paper towel off. Now I've got a dry tuna that I then put in a bowl and I spice and season to I like.
No way.
Yeah.
Like if we had like that crime scene lab light, like you would see all these like paper fibers like all over your tuna.
Yes. That would be terrible for me if I could see that, but I can't. So I just know that it works and it's good and I'm fine. Remember, whatever, you could put shit on a cracker and go, here, honey, taste this. And I'll put it in my mouth as long as I'm not aware. Thank you for ruining this for me. Now I'm going to have to rethink my whole tuna procedures.
Wow.
Didn't even know I had tuna procedures.
You're not afraid of like some of that dye?
I am not. No.
Like if you don't have the perfectly white paper towels, like if you're using that for food, you got green or red dye.
It's already canned tuna. What do you think we're putting in our body already? Jesus, you're like Eric Clapton complaining that he can't play the guitar anymore because of the vaccine. Meanwhile, he's done 60 years of heroin and alcoholism, but it couldn't possibly be that.
Yeah,
that's like I did. It's the paper towels in the tuna, not the mercury and all the other shit that they're shooting into our oceans that are poisoning our fish. But we don't care. It's still delicious with a little tuna helper.
Yeah, see, like I don't like the when you take your bacon and you throw it on the paper towel and then you smash it to get like all the grease off of it.
I was gonna say, man,
like that bugs me.
The paper towel has been the executive assistant to every cook for the past 60 years.
I don't know. It bugs me though. Like I'd rather let my bacon dry up, like the
naturally.
Oil. Yeah,
no, because then it gets hard. Then it gets hard, and it's not crunchy good. It's not. You want when you bite into bacon, you want it to crumble and flake. You don't want it to just be hard like a dog chew. That's what happens in like McDonald's and stuff when they're let their bacon sit around and then suddenly it's like a sharp Chinese star on top of your burger. I hate that. All right,
I did see a Christmas like commercial yesterday that I was like, wow, I need one of those. And like these like cheap things that you can only buy mail order, like buy one now and you get, you know what it was?
What?
See if you think about this too. The security police, the theft identity security police.
Okay. How's it work?
So it's an ink
What
pad.
is your understanding of how it works? Because
it's an ink pad, right?
Okay.
And it's a roller. And you just roll it over like your receipts. You roll it over like your mailing label. You roll it over like your invoices that you get from people that has like your pertinent information on it. So you don't have to throw it in the shredder, like your prescriptions.
Yeah. I like this. We could sell a lot of these.
Right. I just saw it yesterday. Exactly. It's like a little yellow thing.
I wouldn't buy one because I'm not one of these, end of world, everybody's coming to take my stuff kind of guys, but I'd sell them.
I'm constantly like, when I get a receipt, like I am always like cutting the receipt into like several different pieces. And then, or like if I see my name and my address, like I'm always making sure I wipe that stuff out because like somebody goes through your trash and like,
yeah, but who's going through it? See, here's what I think. Who's going through our trash? You're going through the trash on this block. You're going to the people across the street. They look like they got the good trash. You know what I mean? I mean, not that there's anything wrong with our side of the street, but our side of the street isn't the mega mansions. It's the very nice upper middle class homes. So if you're going to rob and go through garbage, plus you see the cops and ain't nobody going through our garbage
I'm
here.
I'm not thinking like they're going through our garbage like in our neighborhood.
Oh, you mean
like,
like at the dump?
Yeah, like I think there's probably somebody where the garbage gets to, and they're like, okay, what do we got in here?
If you get stung that way, then you know what? Drop to your knees and say, "Oh, thank you, God. I happily take this in your name," because that's a 1 in a million thing. That's like getting hit by lightning. That some dude's going to pick up your receipt, do all the legwork to figure it out. Look, you are far more advanced than I am in money matters. You have been up and down the corporate ladder. You have been sued, all of that stuff. So you have a greater
but like shredders have a purpose.
Yes, they do, and I don't have one of those either. I don't.
Right, but I mean, so this is like the poor man shredder. It's like a $9 kind of like ink roller.
Okay.
And you just kind of roll it over.
I could see how you could sell a lot of those. I mean, I wouldn't buy one, but maybe I should take this advice from you more seriously than as cavalierly.
Well, it's already been invented, but that doesn't mean we couldn't knock it off.
Exactly. Those kinds. So that's an app. You and I, we always brainstorm on these things. Okay, so first, let's identify the people we want to sell something to, because that's always the easiest. If you can figure out the people you want to sell it to, then you just give them something stupid that they'll buy.
Well, considering that most of the population is stupid, like I think we've got a product that fits it already.
And fearful that somebody's coming after them, even though they got nothing. Their credit cards are maxed out, but they're still fearful that they're coming after them. They're going to take all their money. So, you can sell to them. And I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying that I don't live my life with that kind of horror hanging over me. Then again, I don't live exactly the best life. Hey, let's continue on with what we're doing today. The whole day thing. All right. Let's see here. Oh, on this day in 1968. Oh, this is a fun one. This is a God Bless America thing. You think you're getting your freedoms taken away here, do you? Is that what we think? We think that this country is suddenly turning into a fascist totalitarian. Really? Is that what we think? On this day in 1968, in the Chinese Cultural Revolution, the People's Daily. You think Fox News is bad? Imagine what a government-run newspaper called the People's Daily is like. In 1968, the People's Daily posted the instructions of Mao Zedong, Chairman Mao. The newspaper front page posted the instructions from Chairman Mao that intellectual youth, smart kids, okay, so all the smart kids in the country, intellectual youth must go to the country and will be educated from living in rural poverty.
Yikes.
Is what a fascist dictator does. Oh, all you college kids, all you educated college kids with questions about the humanitarian aspects of my new regime, really? I order all of you, and they can't say work prisons. So, since you're so smart, how about you get educated in what it's like to be a broke slave? That's basically what they did. 1968. That's really having your freedom taken away from you.
That's what I'm showing you there. That's it. I just pulled it up for you. See, it's a roller.
What's that cost? What's that run us?
$14.
Oh, price to move, baby. Yeah. Oh my God, they'll sell 1 million of them. Where did you see this on? What news channel?
It's called the ID Police. It was like, I think on Fox 4 yesterday or something.
Okay. All right.
And like when it rolls, like it looks like a yellow thing, and when it rolls ID Police. And it's got like all these blocks in their name, and it just kind of like puts it out. So it leaves like that track. Like as if that was like a tire track.
All right. I like it.
Anyway. All right.
On this day in 1984, subway vigilante Bernard Goetz shoots 4 would-be muggers on 2 express trains in Manhattan. I remember when this happened. You remember this guy? Remember the subway vigilante Bernie Goetz? Apparently, he was, he's I don't know enough about this story. I honestly, and I don't even know if he's like a crazy guy who just went hunting for bad guys, put himself in a, or if he really is a hero. I don't know. I just know that he shot bad guys on a train that were bugging people. Now, I know that in the years since there have been much written, and there have been documentaries, and I've even seen them, but I don't remember any of it. So I don't know what I think about this guy. But happy anniversary day, Bernie Goetz. Yeah, because I remember there was like something about no, he was actually kind of a crazy dude, and he did it on purpose. He just looked for people that, still people who are breaking the law. I don't know. It's morally conflicting for me. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Bernie Getz. Maybe I'll get back to you. I've got to watch a documentary to refresh my knowledge of the Malaysian air disaster. And I need to watch a documentary on Bernie Getz. And I promise that I will get those in for you. On this day in 1989, Berlin's Brandenburg Gate reopens after nearly 30 years. That was effectively the ending, the separation between East and West Germany on this day in 1989. The Brandenburg Gate was swung open, and people from both sides freely came and went, East and West Germany. Have you ever looked at a map of Germany? How weird that must have been?
I don't remember the last time I've looked at a map of Germany, but at some point I have.
It's like, especially a Cold War map of Germany when it was East and West Germany. It was, it's pretty stunning. Like, it's like, okay, so that was obviously never going to work for a very long time. And in the case of history, it didn't work. It worked for like 40 years. That is nothing. That is nothing when you take a historical perspective of it.
Right.
So, yeah. I mean, there's just no way. Like, I don't remember which side it was. I don't know if it was West Germany or West Berlin or East Berlin, but like one of them was completely inside the other country, like surrounded on all sides.
Yeah,
like,
how's that going to work?
Right?
So you can never leave without going to your enemy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was. I think that might have been West Germany. I think that might have been our chunk, or West Berlin. Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna get distracted on it. But interesting. If you ever just pull up an old German map of the Cold War Berlins, and it's no surprise it didn't work. And on this day, they finally ended that. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? This is for you, my man, because, yesterday we had a conversation. So I am now going to do a segment, Plane Crash of the Day, because I believe that there is a major plane crash.
I like this segment. I don't like the reason that it has to be, but it'll be interesting to track for a while.
Are
you going to put a year limit on it?
Yeah, I think 2000. I think 2000 is the year, because what I say is before the year 2000, since the year 2000, we have had far less plane crashes than we used to have when I was a kid. I believe that in the 60s, 50s, certainly the 30s, 40s, the first three decades of air travel, that's crazy. And I don't even go into that. But I will delve into the 60s, 70s, and 80s and 90s. Okay?
So basically planes where you weren't allowed to smoke.
No, because when you were allowed to smoke, they crashed all the time too. I don't know how much that had to do with it. I just think they didn't know what they were doing good enough yet. And I think now they've pretty much got it down. That's why we have so few plane crashes. I mean, okay, so my argument is that I can look at these things that happened on this day in history, and every single day of the year, there will be represented a major plane crash that occurred sometime in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. No, 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s. I won't even count the 50s because those were still the jet era. How's that? The jet era.
Okay, I think jets. Yeah, I think if it's a jet and it crashed, then that should be in your segment.
All right, so take your pick.
And there should be an amount of people. Like it's got to be a capacity. Well, you just can't be some little...
Well, here's the problem with that. This is really all about the question, are planes safer today than they were back then? And there's a lot of cargo jets that go down, but those cargo jets are just retrofitted passenger jets. It's the same technology. So if those things are going down, they just don't have passenger seats.
Yeah, but they're like a lot of times, I'm sure, past their like there are a lot of people safety.
You're not going to let me include cargo jets. Okay, fine. I'll limit. I won't.
Right. No, go ahead.
In 1992, during an approach to Tripoli International Airport, a Boeing 727, that's a legit commercial airline.
Legit commercial, yeah.
Boeing 727 operating as a Libyan Airlines flight collides in midair over the airport with a Libyan Air Force jet, killing 157 people. They couldn't pick that up on radar? See what I'm saying? They'd have picked that up today. Today, that would have been picked up. All right.
Do they retire the number?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't want to be this interested in plane crashes. They scare me already. I'm like petrified.
But shouldn't you have to retire that number, that flight number, from not being used if it's ended in a crash?
Like we're retiring jerseys, that kind of thing.
Well, yeah. There's something to be said for an unlucky number. Like, would you get on another Malaysia Air Flight 370?
No, I don't know. Well, I would never be flying a Malaysian airliner to begin with. That's not something I'm flying. I fly United. I fly American. I fly Delta. I fly Southwest. And if I'm overseas, I will fly Virgin. I will any of the normal people airlines. I am not flying some off-brand Czechoslovakian airliner because
right. But I think like if you're the airline and you've had one go down, like you're never going to put that flight number back into circulation.
I don't know if that's the thing or not. I don't know. I don't know what the relevance of the numbers are. I don't know. I
know that I can get in a bunch of elevators and I don't see 13 as a floor.
That's true, but sometimes you do. And don't you wonder what's going on with these architects?
I just think they're less superstitious than the other ones.
I think they're greedier. I think they're just getting an extra floor in there. But yeah, and less superstitious.
Imagine like you're buying the elevator because there's only like about 3 or 4 elevator companies. Like when you see them, you go in like that Schindler one or whatever. Like you're buying it and they're like, okay,
the Otis elevator
Otis is another one. Like, so in your elevator, would you like there to be a floor 13?
Yeah,
or
right.
would
Is that a
you
meeting?
like not?
Is that a box you got to check
right,
on the application?
Like, I mean, because like the panel comes in and it's like, it's either wired for 13 or it's not. Like, is that a discussion? Like, that's a discussion that's had somewhere.
Right in between the pick your songs to be played in your elevator and what color lights do you want on the
So are you superstitious? Like, is there another floor that you don't want like on your elevator?
Right. What if I have a particular aversion to floor 15? What if so no 13 or 15? My wife doesn't particularly like 23 because she was a Cleveland Cavaliers fan during the Jordan years, so no 23 either.
Right. Like I mean, I think like that's like it should be something you could choose.
Just getting rid of numbers. Yeah, getting rid of floors. Right. What? That is a great dude. If I ever build a building, I'm going to do that. I'm going to keep 13, but I'm going to get rid of something else like 4.
Yeah. You
4.
throw people off.
4.
You're like, wait, why is there a 13? Or like 666? Like, are people like don't want a 66? Like if you had a really high building?
Like an apartment number? Like
yeah.
Apartment number?
Yeah, like exactly. If you got like there is no 666 apartment.
There's no 666 hotel room. Unless they're going for a thing, unless that's who they want, people who want to. Yeah, but there ain't no. Yeah. Actually, if I owned a hotel, I might have a room 666.
Yeah, like some of those hotels, they want to be like known for like the one that we went to in Colorado last year. What was it? Where The Shining supposedly was like
the Overlook. Yeah.
No, not the Overlook.
Well, no, but that's what it was called in The Shining.
In The Shining, yeah. I can't remember that. I'll think of it here. Damn. How can I?
Whatever. It's that one from The Shining.
Yeah. Anyway, when we went there, like there were a lot of things they wanted you to be creeped out about.
Yeah, they leaned into it. The whole Shining thing. That's why you go there. That's why you're telling this story.
Yeah, they had a tour, and they had a tour at night, and they took us around. Like, and you supposedly see, and we take pictures, and then like people have like taken pictures and then sent the pictures back, and like, oh, look at that image in the back. We think it may have been a ghost.
Excuse me. Nobody's here. All right. So we had that one in 92. That was in Tripoli in 1996. An airborne express flight 827 crashed near Narrows, Virginia. That's the one I told you about yesterday. As the example. And then we got another one in 1999, just after taking off from London Stansted Airport. Korean. This is an air cargo flight. Crashed into Hatfield Forest. So there's a problem. Oh, and then here's another one that we'll add. But this doesn't really fit into... See, my concern, I hope you understand.
So how many planes went down today?
Today, 92, 96, 99, and 92, 96, 99, and now this one, 2001. This is the anniversary of the shoe bomber. Remember the shoe bomber, the guy that tried to shoe on fire?
Richard the guy Reed. That like created a whole cottage industry.
Right. But that's over my line of demarcation. My line of demarcation is 2000, and the shoe bomber was in 2001. Richard Reed attempts to destroy a passenger airliner by igniting explosives hidden in his shoes. Again, I want to make clear about my airline thing. I don't really want to include terrorists and stuff like that. I mean, I don't want like hijackings. I don't include that. But if they got a bomb on board, then yeah, that's a flaw in that era's security system. And I would like to think that they would have caught that bomb today. So that counts. But mainly I'm talking about mechanical stuff and like figuring out the ins and outs of being able to do air travel blindfolded. And at this point, I think they can. So although then we lose a Malaysian jet and I don't know anything. Do you see what I mean? I would never have imagined that could happen.
I think this is like it is an interesting daily segment. If you start out like day one, like this is the first day we're doing it.
Okay.
And there's like 4 on the first day. Like, is that a lot? Is that average?
Well, I don't know. It'll take us a while. Let's figure it out.
That's what I'm saying. We're starting out like when you got 4 on day one, like, I don't know, like I might like put a little bit of a shaded, if I had like a day to fly calendar, I'm like, this one might be in question.
No, I know what you mean. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe we do this and we make a calendar, safest days to fly calendar.
I think there's something to be said for that. Like there are people that are afraid
for Christmas 2022. It's going to be in every business traveler's stocking.
Right. For your family member that's like afraid to get, I mean, think about it. There's still people out there that have not been on a plane one time.
Oh my God, dude, that is a book.
Right?
That is a book. Just every day compile, and then you sell it as, the safest.
We're going to change the way planes are booked.
Yeah.
like people will be like getting this.
Look at what we just organically came up with.
They're like, wait a minute. I booked on there's a lot of, do you know there's a lot of planes that went down this day, lady? You know what I mean?
My son-in-law travels for work all the time. I thought this book would be a fun read. The safest day. What day am I traveling? You turn to that day.
Right, like executive assistants. Like,
and then we rate them because we'll have all the days. So we'll know that if it's just like a 3-plane crash day, you're probably pretty safe because June 16th is a 17-plane crash day.
Right. And then if you're the airline that crashed on that day, like this is not a day to fly American, because they've had, I mean, just think.
Sell that. We could be so powerful in the industry. We could amass great power and do terrible things with. All right, never mind. All right, we'll table that discussion. But yeah, all right. So new segment. We'll do this every day. I'll give you an example of a plane that crashed, and then
we'll like why it's happened, but I like that we're alerting people of the potential of disaster.
I think it might be ultimately good for me. It'll force me to confront my fear of flying, which I really don't like to fly. And you know what? Now the way my mind works, if we were to do this and I put this book, because look, I got a publisher. All I got to do is finish this White Sox book and then I can pitch my second book. And it could be this one. It could be this one of just a compilation of plane crashes and what days are the safest to fly on. That'll freaking sell. But I mean, will I be working myself through it or will I become even more damaged? Like, will I be even, you know what I mean? Is this a way for me to deal with my fear? That sounds all good, but ultimately, am I just freaking myself out more? And I love to, that's my problem. I love to travel. I want to see the world quickly, but I'm afraid to fly. You see, that's my problem.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. You might find another form of transportation.
Yeah, right. I'm afraid to fly, but I'll be the first guy to try the teleportation system they come up with, where I arrive in Dublin turned inside out because they haven't worked all the bugs. I'm fine with that. Not scared of that at all. But all right. Happy birthdays today. I'm born on this day in 1949. A couple of twins. Didn't know they were twins. Know they're twins now. They're both dead. Maurice and Robin Gibb of the Bee Gees were born on this day in 1949. Maurice Gibb died in 2003. Robin Gibb in 2012. Andy Gibb, remember him? He was like the younger brother. He was the
late bloomer.
He was like the Donny Osmond of that thing. It's like you had the Osmonds band, and then sort of whatever. I don't think he was ever in the Bee Gees. Andy Gibb?
No, that's what I mean. Like he was the one that kind of was the younger brother that then all of a sudden girls thought, wow, he's really hot.
Yeah. So they said, here, sing these songs and go on before your brothers and then you'll be a big star. And he was. He's dead. So yeah, all the Bee Gee brothers are dead except for Maurice, Robin, Andy.
Barry, wasn't it Barry Gibb?
Barry, yeah, Barry's the lead guy. He's got the beard, and Robin was like the one that looked like a bird, like really bizarre looking. And then the other guy was the bald one. So there was bald one, Birdman, handsome guy. That's how I tell the difference between the bald guy, Birdman, handsome guy, and then Andy. Andy stuck out. Also, happy birthday today, Senator from the great state of Texas. It is Ted Cruz's birthday. Let me tell you, it brings me no pleasure whatsoever when I realized today that Ted Cruz is a year younger than me. I'm born on this day in 1970.
Grandpa Munster is a year younger than you?
Ted Cruz is a year younger than me. But Ant-Man is older than both of us. Paul Rudd, the sexiest man alive, is older than both of us. So that should give me some peace of mind to know that the sexiest man alive is older than me and Ted Cruz. Because if it weren't for Paul Rudd, it would be down to me and Ted Cruz. It would be All right, so happy birthday, Ted Cruz. What is today the National Day of? We'll do this really quick.
I wouldn't wish him happy birthday, but go. You can.
Just being polite.
I know. Glad that's your job.
Probably can't. He's not listening. He's in Cancun anyway. Probably got no internet. Hey, today is Forefathers Day. Yeah, let's see what that's about, right?
Who's got forefathers?
I don't know.
I thought that only happens with dogs. Rim shot.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was reading. You deserve that. Okay, so it doesn't even have Wednesday, word of the day, Forefathers Day. Okay, let's look at Forefathers Day. Let's see what this is about. It's not giving it to me. There is no explanation for Forefathers Day. There are explanations for everything else, but not Forefathers Day. So, okay. Thomas Jefferson. There you go. He's a forefather. John Hancock. He's a forefather. A whole bunch of them. I could name so many.
So why was this day they're in common day?
I don't know. Just
birthdays.
It's one of these jingoistic things. It's like, well, today's day, recognize you're American. I'm like, okay, I can do that. It's also National Date Nut Bread Day.
Date Nut Bread Day.
Sounds like an awful.
So that means like you have to have dates and nuts because dates are not nuts.
Yeah, I don't know. Aren't dates like raisins? Aren't they basically like fat raisins?
Yeah, I thought maybe not as sweet raisin.
I thought you had dates, or no? Here's the pecking order. You got raisins, then the mid-size raisin is the date, and then the full-size raisin is the prune. I thought that's how it broke down.
Yeah, that seems to me to be kind of. Except the prune has this weird kind of a twangy taste to it, where the date is kind of.
That's Dr. Pepper. That's
more mundane.
So they used to say Dr. Pepper was flavored like prune juice. They used prune juice for that unique flavor. I don't think it's true, but that's what they used to say. All right, let's see what's trending, because as I say at the start of these shows this week, there's not a whole lot trending. A lot of NBA stuff trending. We don't need that. Divisive politics trending. We don't need that. What else? K-pop. Oh my God. It's June Kim's birthday. So every day, we have a plane crash and a Korean pop star celebrating a birthday every single day. So I was able to go deep into the trends, and I pulled up some things. We'll run through them pretty quickly here. All right. Lil Wayne is trending. You know why Lil Wayne is trending?
No idea.
Because the most popular television show that isn't actually on television, I guess it's a streaming service show or something, is called Versus or Verse. I don't know. They estimate that it's got more people tuning into this thing than, the Who Shot JR episode of Dallas. And what it does, I mean, I've seen it because it trends every time it's on, and my kid, it's that generation. You know what I mean? It's not for us. But what they do is, and it's brilliant, they pit two legendary hip hop icons up against each other in a hip hop versus a hip hop, blah, blah, blah. And they're constantly online trying to taunt hip hop stars into calling one another out to appear on this show. Now, This is something that never would have happened for the bands that we liked. Like in the 80s, the police would have never called out The Cure, and they'd have done a battle of the bands on TV. That's just not something that would have ever. Led Zeppelin would have never gone, we challenge the Who to a TV deal, right? They would never have done that. It would have been cool, and we would have tuned in for it. But
well, I mean, what it was like Eric Clapton and what was it?
Elton John.
They had the duel over their girl.
Oh, George Harrison. Oh,
yeah. That was about as close as that I think we got, or we found out that we got.
But I think this versus thing is really cool. So Lil Wayne is trending today because they're trying to put together Lil Wayne versus Jay-Z. And Lil Wayne apparently has already said, as far as this versus matchup, he said there ain't nobody that can stand on the stage with me. So then, Jay-Z's army is now going after Lil Wayne. And now it's like, is Lil Wayne and Jay-Z going to do a versus? We'll see. Well, so that's why that's trending.
Right. Well, I like Lil Wayne. To me, he can sing about anything. Like, I don't understand his verses, but like I've heard him, and like he's got, like, he makes, if it doesn't rhyme, he just makes something word up. Like, he creates words inside of his verses.
Yeah. All right. So Lil Wayne is trending. He says he's better than Jay-Z, and people are saying, no, you're not.
I know he's not better than Eminem.
That's what's happening. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Eminem's ever done it. Maybe we should delve into this because the names are big. Like, if they get, saying Lil Wayne and Jay-Z wouldn't be like the super special biggest episode ever. It'd be a big one, but it's like they've done big ones before. You know what I mean? Where it's people like, really?
So what's the name of the show?
Versus something like that. VERZUZZ or yeah.
Right. And what channel?
That's okay, Grandpa. It's not a channel. I don't know. It's like something that just appears on your phone. I don't know. I don't know. So old. Adam Randus seems to have some familiarity with it.
He'll fill us in here in the chat room, I guess. Versus.
Let's see here. All right, Hawkeye is trending. Hawkeye.
It's like your phone is turned into when you really know your grandpa. Like, you just run to Google all the time.
Yeah. Well, thank God for Google. Maybe it'll turn us into different old people. Our old people that we grew up with were always pissed off about younger people things because there was no way for them to access reliable information on the subject. But we, as old people, we can just Google what versus is. And after about 10 minutes, we can have a pretty good
So the proper spelling is VERZUZ.
Oh, okay. So you found it?
Yep.
All right. I don't know.
And so far, there's been 35 episodes with 5 specials.
It's big, man. I'm telling you, it's blowing up the entertainment industry. They got some of the people who have appeared.
Yeah, it says versus an American webcast series created by record producers Timbaland and Swizz Beatz.
Oh, there you go. 2 of the biggest names in music. doing a little live stream that we can't compete with.
Yeah, it airs on Versus TV. Versus was introduced during the COVID-19 pandemic as a virtual DJ battle with Timbaland and Swizz Beatz facing off in its first iteration through an Instagram live broadcast in March of 2020.
Okay. It's been around about 2 years, year and a half.
And so then Jay-Z most recently says no one can compete with him in a versus battle. Not a chance in hell.
See, this is how the shit talk starts on social media until.
And then Busta Rhymes says, would smoke Jay-Z in a versus battle according to Lil Jon. And then Gangsta Boo.
Okay.
I like the names.
What does Gangsta Boo have to say on the subject? I'm interested.
Gangsta Boo on Scary Moment when the Busy Bone threw bottle during verses.
Apparently there's bottle throwing.
Yeah. It's probably like a version of like hip hop wrestling.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Let's see here. Hawkeye, the finale is posted on Disney Plus TV. Hawkeye, of course, the least spooky Avenger. I haven't seen any of the series, but there you go. The first season is now fully available for you to binge over the holiday weekend. People say it's good. I say it looks like the Avengers meets Die Hard. It looks like Hawkeye's got a teenage daughter who's a bit rebellious, who he's got to save from the underworld. It seems like that. Kyle Rittenhouse is trending. Folks, I told you this as soon as he was acquitted. I said, this kid is about to make all kinds of money. Kyle Rittenhouse is trending because he's making big money for showing up at all of these QAnon and far-right conservative, making speeches, being treated like a god. I mean, look, this is all well and good for this kid, and he needs to cash in. I'm not a hater. I thought that he was rightfully acquitted. Very controversially, I understand that, but I felt that he wasn't trying to murder anybody. We're not going to relitigate that. But I just want to be clear before I say what I'm about to say that you understand how I feel about his trial. This dude's a dope. They're gonna find out that this kid is like a dope. Right now, they're just putting him in a nice suit and trotting him out to like 10 minutes of standing ovations, right? He's not actually saying stuff. You know, he's just being trotted out like a show pony, and people are going nuts. He's like Bowie in '77. Appearing at a shopping mall. You know, people are going nuts for him. And he's going to do a podcast, and pretty soon the base is going to need a little something more from him. They're going to need him to be a bit more charismatic. They're going to need him to be a leader and a preacher, a Joe Rogan type. You know what I mean? If he can pull that off, then man, the sky's the limit for him. But he's a dope. They're going to find out that he's just not that interesting. That he can't. So here's what's going to happen. Like 3 years from now, there's going to be all of these profiles on him about how, you know, he's broke now and they took all his money. You know what I mean? He had these guys, Roger Stone and the like, you know, they got their hooks into him. And now he's 23 years old living in a trailer and he regrets everything. You know, we're going to have that. That's going to come.
You hope.
No, I believe that because, as I say, he's a dope. Now, the way it played out in court, I agree with. I think that and I begrudge him nothing. I said it as soon as he was let free. I said, this kid, if he's smart, he's gonna make some money now. Make that paper, kid. You know, that was my whole thing. But he's not going to be a president of the United States. He's not going to turn this into, you know what I mean, some like grand career as a deep thinker and a leader of this country because he's a kid and he's a dope. And he's probably you're going to lose interest in him. After the 10 minutes of standing applause and him saying stuff like Biden sucks or whatever, you know, you're going to be like, yeah, okay, I need somebody a little bit more charismatic. I need somebody a little bit more, you know, with stage appeal. Who knows how to work the room? You know what I mean? Because those are the people who ultimately, you know. So he's going to fade off, and we'll see. But right now, get that paper, get that money. That's why he's trending. People are like, why is he making money? Because he went through the process and he came out on the other end in an advantageous position for him. Why would you begrudge him that? He did. He was tried. You know, he went on trial. And they couldn't get him for what they wanted him for. So this is America. You walk.
Are you watching CNN live at the moment?
No, what's happening? My kid's got the one that I watch the TV on.
So right now, they found this like 1887 time capsule inside a Lee statue.
A General Lee statue?
A General Lee statue.
Oh, there could be good stuff in there.
And so they're right now in the process of opening it.
Okay.
They're opening it on live TV. They just like, I don't know, the guy's kind of having some trouble getting this little instrument inside of it. It's like a box. I would say, like, think about your typical man's like kind of jewelry box, you know, about that size.
What year is this again? What year was this in there?
1887.
Okay. Man, I am so far behind. Whenever I sign in on the stream here, like I got Anna Cabrera right now doing a CNN film exclusive, just call out my name.
Yeah, it just switched to that.
Oh, it is? So
yeah, they were opening it live, and the guy looked like he was having some trouble. He was going around the perimeter of the box with like this little tool. He had his blue gloves on.
All right, well, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to minimize it on my end. And then you're going to you keep it static on your big screen there, and you let me know, and I'll go back to it.
Yeah, I mean, we're almost here at the end anyway, so I don't know. Hopefully we'll get it.
I want to see. Yeah, I really don't care about. I love Carole King, but I don't, and James Taylor, but I don't really care about their new special. All right, let's see here. What else do we have on? Okay, what's trending? What are people talking about? All right. Well, Rex Chapman is trending. He is trending because he had something controversial to say. Are you familiar with the modern incarnation of Rex Chapman? I'm sure you remember him as the white, tall, lanky forward from NBA days in Kentucky.
Yeah,
he was
he was better in college, I think,
Oh,
than
he
he
was
was
the
in the
number one
pros.
draft pick. He was like, he was like one of the top. Well, I don't know if he was number one, but he was certainly one of the best players in college basketball coming out. And and then he played like, I don't know, a dozen years in the NBA, bounced around, had a whole career, became a drug addict, got arrested for stealing shit from a store, went to drug rehab, sort of reinvented himself. And
Didn't he get all tatted up too?
Yeah, he tats. Yeah, he was kind of a hardcore guy. And now
that matters, but
and now he's one of Twitter's biggest influencers. And he's one of my absolute favorite people to follow. Rex Chapman's got like, first of all, he's very funny. He's very positive. The moment of joy is half the moment of joy stuff that I show, I get from shit that Rex Chapman has found and put out there. I mean, he's as influential now as he was as a 19-year-old for the University of Kentucky, when he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated and, all that kind of stuff. So he got in trouble. He's trending today on Twitter. He gets in trouble from time to time. Today, he's in trouble for this tweet that Rex Chapman put out there. How about we all agree that hospitals have the right to turn away unvaccinated COVID patients? They have freedom of choice too, right? I'm sure the unvaccinated would have no problem with that, and it would solve a lot of our problems. So he's getting hammered because Rex Chapman thinks that since the hospitals are all packed up with sick people and there's no room for, this is the real issue here. You get into a car accident and, you break your spine, you're going to have a hard time getting a recovery bed in a hospital now because it's filled up with people with COVID again. And they're starting to say these people who are filling these beds up with COVID, it could have been prevented. The vaccination doesn't put you in the hospital. It'll get you sick. It's a seatbelt. It doesn't cause. So, a lot of people believe. How about we all agree that hospitals have the right to turn away the unvaccinated? They have freedom of choice too, right? I'm sure the unvaccinated would have no problem with that, and it would solve a lot of problems. So, saying what I just said, I don't agree with that at all. That's wrong. You have to treat everybody. Look, we live in a civilized society and it's not perfect. And a lot of times it's ugly. And this is one of the ugly realities is that we cannot convince everybody to walk in lockstep with us on every single issue. In this particular issue, regardless of how important you think it is, and I think it happens to be of maximum global importance, you can't expect everybody to just do it. That's what freedom is.
I mean, it sounds good.
That's what we do. We treat people who need help. That's what we morally do. Go ahead.
It sounds good because it's the topic of the time. But if you drill down into other things that are similar but not similar, people smoke. We still treat them for lung cancer.
Yeah, but smoking isn't contagious. No, it's a different. We're talking about a containment of a very contagious disease.
Kind of got us with the secondhand smoke.
No, don't get confused. That's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. You're splitting hairs for the argument. It's not the same thing as coughing on someone on a bus next to you. and smoking.
Yeah, okay. Granted, it takes a lot more.
It is so okay. So let's just stop being silly and let's drill down on what the issue is. This is about spreading a disease. This is about containing a disease. And there's a certain segment of the population who is simply not going to do their part. We have to acknowledge that at this point. But it doesn't mean that we treat them like second-class citizens. This is what I say about civilized societies are difficult. This is one of the issues. We must be civil towards them. They are not being team players. They are the Terrell Owens of American citizens. That's what they are. Bottom line.
Well, but it's okay.
But we need to.
So if it was polio or leprosy.
Oh, leprosy. Imagine Ebola. Just say Ebola.
Yeah, if it was one of those and there was a vaccine, like polio there is, to get rid of it.
That's why you and I don't know anybody with polio.
Right.
Our parents did. Our parents grew up with lots of people with polio. Not us, though.
When does the page turn into that?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
You don't think it, because at some point the cost meter the almighty dollar churns it into, hey, we can't afford this. Like, I mean, I would imagine healthcare
Haven't we
costs.
passed that?
Well, I would think that healthcare costs have gotten there.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. This is the mall calling me.
Well, go ahead. You can take it.
Sir, it's 1:00. You said
what do you have, a personal shopper or something? What is this?
No, it's my wife.
The mall doesn't call normal people.
No,
are you coming to spend your money with
said
us
the mall. It's meaning my wife. It's 1:00. You said you're doing the show to 1. So
you can go.
All right.
Although I wanted to get into Cole Beasley with you, so I'll have to do that alone.
We'll save that for we'll let you do that on your own.
Maybe okay. There he goes. The only guy with a real relevant opinion on Cole Beasley. And there he goes. All right.
I'm very mad at Cole Beasley.
Noted. We'll get into that. All right, there he goes. That's everybody. Wave goodbye to him. There he is. There he goes. Everybody. Okay. All right, let's continue on here. Let's see what else we got to talk about. So we did the Rex Chapman thing. How about this one? His bath. His bath is trending. His bath. HISBATH. Didn't know what his bath was. Clicked on it. Now I hate it. That's how it works. I went from not having this horror show of a thing in my brain to waking up this morning, clicking on something, reading it, and now I have a new horror show of a thing in my brain, and it's called His Bath. His Bath is a version of extreme Islamism or something like that. I don't know. But it is from what I understand, it is a religious movement in Nigeria. And just the other day we were talking about like the Miss Universe pageant. And some girl from Nigeria appeared in the Miss Universe pageant, and she appeared as Miss Nigeria because she went through, whatever. I don't know what that process could be like in Nigeria. I mean, I've seen on television what it's like in Alabama, in Florida, but I don't know if that's similar to the process to, matriculating through the beauty pageant systems, rising all the way up to representing your country in a Miss America pageant or a Miss Universe pageant. I don't know. But she did it, and she was so she appears on the Miss Universe pageant, Miss Nigeria. And this religious sect, this movement in her home country of Nigeria are now like imprisoning and interrogating her parents over it. Kano State Hibath commander, Hibath is like the movement, Hibath commander Haruna Ibn Sina says parents of Miss Nigeria winner Shatu Garka will be arrested and interrogated for allowing their daughter to participate in Miss Nigeria's beauty pageant for 2021, describing it as illegal and contrary to Islamic beliefs. Miss Garko, who's beautiful, as one would expect. Miss Garko, 18 of Kano, recently emerged as the 44th Miss Nigeria, the first hijab adorning Muslim, to win the beauty pageant. Reacting to Miss Garko's victory, so she even wore like the hijab and stuff. She did the full, she's like, hey, look at me, we're beautiful too. She did everything. She jumped through all the hoops. Reacting to Miss Garko's victory in the beauty pageant in an interview with BBC Pidgin, Mrs. Haruna said participating in a pageant is forbidden for Muslims. For Muslims in the state of Kano, a northern Nigerian district with Sharia practices. Mr. Ibn Sina said that they had confirmed that Mrs. Garko's parents are living in Kano and will soon be brought into custody and interrogated for the role of their daughter. I'm sure it'll be cool. I'm sure that the Nigerian secret religious police are going to be really cool. It's just going to be a sit down. There'll probably be some coffee involved, maybe a Danish or two. I'm sure it will be wonderful. Though Mrs. Garko participated in the pageant, adorning her hijab, the Hizbath, that's the religious movement, commander, further condemned the exercise as a whole, saying it was against Quranic instruction. Before now, Hizbath, which was adopted in many northern states in early 2000, had banned tailors, supermarkets, and boutique owners from using mannequins to display clothing. No mannequins. They don't allow mannequins. It creeps them out. We don't have a good reason for it. It's just weird. They don't have the head, and a lot of times they don't have it's just like a torso. This isn't necessarily from the Quran. This is just a me thing. I want to ban all mannequins. That's what a real fascist does. Let's see here. All right, so that's it. That's the story. I guess they don't have them yet, although this is an international news thing that I'm reading, so it could be very old. Super Dave. Woo, baby. Super Dave is trending. Super Dave Osborne, the late great, is Bob Einstein? I think it is. It's Bob Einstein. He passed away last year, 2019, maybe 2020. For people of my generation, he portrayed the long-running television character of Super Dave Osborne. Super Dave Osborne was a daredevil in the vein of a Evel Knievel. It was a big thing back in the 70s. So this guy, Bob Einstein, created this character of Super Dave Osborne, and his bit was that he would go on TV shows, like whether it was The Tonight Show, a lot of Late Night with David Letterman. He would also appear on variety shows, and he'd do stunts. And, the whole premise of the bit was that the stunts never went according to plan. They were always disastrous failures. He was always mortally wounded in some way right there on TV. And that was the joke. And it was very funny. And Bob Eisenstein, who plays Super Dave Osborne, the late great Bob Eisenstein, he was even more than that, though. He was an incredible television writer. He worked with the Smothers Brothers, which was one of the best written shows of television. I mean, it's still to this day, the writer from it, Smothers Brothers, is considered one of the greats. I mean, and he's also the brother of Albert Brooks. Albert Brooks, who is one of my all-time favorite comedy writers and comedy film directors and film actors and all that. Albert Brooks is an absolute treasure. Bob Eisenstein was Albert Brooks's brother. Super Dave Osborne was Albert Brooks's brother. And that interesting. The real last name, Albert Brooks' last name isn't Brooks. It's Einstein. And so his name was Albert Einstein. And so when he became a performer, Albert Brooks decided he's not going to go out there with the name Albert Einstein and then try and be snarky. People would just not buy that. They'd be like, what a dick. So he changed his name to Brooks. But Bob Einstein, Super Dave Osborne, kept his name. So there is a new documentary that is coming out. Let me see if I can find this for you. Hold on. I got to sign into a little something here. Give me a second. I made a mistake. Whoops. I made a mistake. That's all. Making mistakes can happen to anyone. That's how the song used to go. So there is a new documentary. It's going to be on HBO Max. I believe it starts after the first. You know what? This one will tell us when it starts. Let's see if we can figure this out. Give me a second here, folks. I'm sorry. I didn't know I was going to be left all alone. I didn't know it. Okay, so here's the trailer. What's this? Yeah, let's do it here instead. All right, I will share this with you. This is the new trailer for the documentary on the life of Bob Einstein, who is, of course, Super Dave. It's called The Super Bob Einstein Movie, and it's coming to, there it is. It's coming to HBO Max. So make sure we're showing it. We are. There it is. Shall we watch? Is it sharing? It is. All right. Very excited about this. He also played Marty Funkhauser on Curb, if you're a Curb Your Enthusiasm fan. Here he is.
If Bob knew a documentary was being made about him, he would act like he didn't like it, and he would love every minute of it.
Hey, Funkhauser! I think he'd get a kick out of the fact that I have to sit here and do this, knowing that I really don't want to.
I think he would love it, and I think he would want to be in it mostly by himself.
There was my brother Cliff, Bob, and myself.
Nobody thought Bob was going to be any kind of an entertainer.
Did you stick a gerbil up your ass?
Who told you that?
It's not important.
No, of course I didn't stick a gerbil up my ass.
So upset.
From Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour, we were as close as two people could be.
Being a guy who loves physical comedy, Super Dave was must-watch TV for me growing up.
Watch the bag.
Hi, your autograph?
Sure. Holy shit!
Oh, Super Dave.
I was obsessed with him instantly.
He was always very dry.
He mixed these corny old jokes with this weird, angry approach.
The straight man's usually what the funny man bounces off of, but he's both.
Did you take the flowers at my mother's site?
There's so many of them. I didn't know it was such a
So many of them!
Is that such a
They're
bad
not there to pick!
If you're lucky enough to have a thing that works.
Jerry Marty Funkhauser.
Hey, Marty, how you doing? That's your thing. You don't need more than one thing.
He had a big personality, but a big love.
It was Bob's world. We're only living in it.
All right, there we go. How about that coming to HBO Max? I couldn't be more excited. Super Dave Osborne movie. You kidding me? Get out with that. There couldn't be anything more suited and perfect. Doing a little clean up here to my taste than you telling me, hey Pugs, you want to see a documentary on HBO Max about the life and career of Bob Einstein, better known as Super Dave Osborne? Yeah, that's exactly what I want to see. All right, so that's why Bob Einstein, or actually that's why Super Dave is trending. Good times. Let's see, what else do we have here? As we move quickly through the rest of we talk about the Grand Reset, but it's like a conspiracy theory that I was reading about today. Here's the thing. Okay, so all right, so the Grand Reset is trending. Now, I don't know if you know what the Grand Reset is. If you're not a member of QAnon or any of that kind of stuff, you probably aren't familiar with it. But here, I'll explain. It is a real thing. And BBC, what is the Grand Reset and how did it get hijacked by conspiracy theorists? Okay. Believers spin dark tales about the authoritarian social world government run by powerful capitalists and politicians. Well, that's true, but they're out in the open. We know who they are. We see them at their meetings, their world meetings. We can't all show up at a world summit. We have to designate somebody. And in our country, we have elections, and then, they appoint ambassadors and experts on this kinds of thing. That's how it works. I mean, these people, they show what they do it in public. We know they just canceled Davos. Davos was canceled because of the pandemic yesterday. We reported on that. Davos is where all the world's billionaires, the big global economic summit that happens every year. And, they'll present it to you. People who tell you about Davos, it happens in the woods and nobody knows about it. No, it doesn't. It happens at like a hotel in Switzerland. And there are thousands of media there covering it. This doesn't happen in secret. We know about, no, but there's another thing that happens you don't know about. Okay, maybe. All right, whatever. All right, but now you're moving the goalposts, my friend. So the Great Reset is a plan that was concocted by all of these people. You may not like them. I may not like them. I'd love to have a better system for appointing these people. People who may be more in tune with my beliefs and my desires and what I think would make the world a better place. But we don't have that. We have what we have, and we have to work within that. So all of these people got together, these economists and stuff, and they said, boy, oh boy, has the globe gone through some bullshit these past couple of years because of this pandemic. Let's do this. And they came up with this economic plan, and I'm not going to bore you with it. It's called the Grand Reset, where I don't know. I'm not going to bore you with the insides. I don't endorse it. I don't know what it is, but I know that it's not secret. I know that it's not something that they don't want you to know about. I mean, I've been hearing about this in normal circles for a long time, especially people who know about money and international and global currencies and all that kind of stuff. This is not something that has been, shoved under the rug that some dude on Twitter is just putting out and look what I found. Well, what did you Google economic recovery plan? What do you mean? How did you find that? That's not difficult to find this. So that's why it's trending. And the BBC has put out a big thing about, okay, here's why it's trending. Here's why people are thinking that it's a conspiracy theory. And here's why that's not true. But let me just say this. Why is it? We hear this all the time. These people, the world, banking, Get Fresh Crew organization or whatever, all of these groups that the WTO, all of these groups that get together and make all of these decisions, once again, because we can't all be invited to the party. These are the people that we've put in positions to make the decisions for us. Whenever they do this stuff, how come whenever shit needs to be reset, it's always only for the banks and for the people with the money and the big corporations. And, oh, what's that? You're bankrupt? You know what? We're going to reset. We're just going to hit reset on your entire company, and we're just going to pretend like that never happened. Does everybody agree with that? We're going to make these guys solvent again. They're fine, right? Everything. We'll just all keep on moving like that never happened. We're going to reset. They always seem to find that angle. But you know what they never find? They never find the angle where they go, let's wipe out the world's debt. Let's reset. Everybody, your credit cards, trust me, we're taking care of the banks. They're not going to go. We're just going to go to zero. Everybody can get a reset. We're going to start again. They never suggest anything like that. They never suggest anything. And it's as absurd as the ones that they suggest with a straight face. let's make sure that the banks don't have to ever pay anything back ever again. Is everybody good with that? Yeah, we're good with that. Yeah, you in the back, you got a question? How about we do the same thing for the people? Fuck you! Are you insane? What are you, a communist? That's not how this works. But so that's my take on the grand reset. It's always for somebody else. It's never for the people. Oh, but you see, if we make the billionaires super rich again, then, they're just going to drive through the streets of your town with the top down, throwing wads of cash out of their big money bags. That's how this works. That's what they're going to do. I'm not going to do that. Well, they're going to start these companies and they're going to bring good jobs back. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not going to bring good jobs back. They're going to bring back a below minimum wage class of existence, which is horrid. We need a thriving middle class. So how about you do this? How about you give everybody their credit back? How about you take all the student loans, get rid of those? How about you give people a fresh start? And then you know what? Instead of them going to work in your salt mines, what if we allow them the opportunity to do what Elon Musk did? To do what Bill Gates did, to create something, to start their own business, to do this, to do that, do the other thing. But no. You want to give the money to the people who are going to open up the sweatshops to employ us all. Not really going to empower us, because you can't have an empowered electorate. You can't have an informed electorate. We haven't had that in years. I could rant. Tell me that doesn't sound like AM talk radio. I mean, maybe not. Maybe not conservative enough, but... All right. Walter Reed is trending. Now, I don't know who Walter Reed is. Apparently he had something to do with the Army, but Walter Reed is the big medical center there. It's like our